In the beginning, there was nothing. No sun, no moon, no stars, no galaxies, no time, no space, no gods, no matter. Only darkness, only silence, only the void. But here's the question that has haunted humanity for thousands of years. A question so profound that it was asked before any religion, before any scripture, before any civilization as we know it. What existed before existence itself? 5,000 years ago in the Himalayas, a civilization that had been observing the stars for millennia turned its gaze inward. And they asked a question that modern cosmology is only now catching up to. Not who created the universe, but what was there before the universe existed? The answer is found in the Nasadiya Sukta, the hymn of creation, in the oldest book known to humanity, the Rigveda. Listen to these words. They were composed before the pyramids of Egypt were built, before the first dynasty of China, before Stonehenge. Neither non-existence nor existence existed at that time, neither the realm of space nor the sky which is beyond. What stirred? Where? In whose protection was there water deep and unfathomable? Notice what this text does not say. It does not say God created the heavens and the earth. It does not say in the beginning there was light. It says something far more radical. It says we don't know, and it's okay to not know. The Rigveda begins with a question mark, not a declaration, a question. That is the beginning of science. But centuries later, a young prince sat at the feet of his guru, troubled by the same question. His name was Rama. Not the god king of legends. This was Rama before his exile, a young man wrestling with the nature of reality itself. And his guru, the sage Vasistha, gave him an answer so radical that it still challenges everything we think we know. Vasista said, "This world is a long dream, Rama. It appears real only because you have not woken up." Rama asked, "If the world is a dream, then what is real?" And Vasista replied with what may be the most profound teaching ever given to a student. He said, consciousness alone is real. The universe is a vibration within that consciousness, like a wave rising and falling in an infinite ocean. There was no moment of creation because creation is not an event in time. It is an eternal arising, here and now, in the field of pure awareness. This is the teaching of the Yoga Vasistha, a text of over 32,000 verses, one of the longest and most profound philosophical works ever written. And in it, Vasistha does something extraordinary. He does not ask Rama to believe. He asks him to investigate, to question, to see for himself. Who truly knows? Who can declare it? Whence was this creation? Whence did it come? Perhaps it formed itself, or perhaps it did not. The one who looks down from the highest heaven, only he knows. Or perhaps even he does not know. Do you see what just happened? A 5,000-year-old text just admitted that the creator of the universe might not know how the universe was created. This is not mythology. This is intellectual honesty at the highest level. This is a text that is more comfortable with uncertainty than with comforting stories. Today, modern cosmology tells us something remarkable. The Big Bang Theory says the universe began from a singularity, a point of infinite density where the laws of physics as we know them break down. What came before the singularity? Science doesn't know. The equations stop working. Space and time themselves began at that moment. The question, what existed before the Big Bang, is, according to physics, meaningless, because before implies time, and time began with the Big Bang. And yet, the Rigveda asked exactly this question 5,000 years ago. And centuries later, the Yoga Vasistha would push the question even further. Not content to merely ask what existed before creation, it explored who is the one asking the question in the first place. There was neither death nor immortality then. There was no distinguishing sign of night nor day. the one breathed by its own power, without wind. Other than that, there was nothing else. Vasista echoed this in his own way. He told Rama, "The world is nothing but the self-luminous light of consciousness appearing as the universe, just as a single ocean appears as countless waves. There's no difference between the cause and the effect. The dreamer and the dream are one. The one breathed by its own power, without wind." Think about that. Before there was air, before there was movement, before there was anything, there was breath. The universe as a living being. Consciousness before matter. The observer before the observed. The Nasadiya Sukta is not a creation myth. It is a meditation on the limits of human knowledge. It is the first recorded instance of a human being looking at the universe and saying, "I don't know," and I'm brave enough to say it. And the Yoga Vasista is the next step, not content to simply ask the question, it shows a path to investigate it, not through dogma, but through direct inquiry. What makes this tradition so remarkable is not just its age, but its approach. It does not offer an answer, it offers a question. And it sits with the question uncomfortable and unresolved. This is the opposite of dogma. This is the beginning of philosophy, of science, of the human journey to understand our place in the cosmos. Consider the context. The Rigveda is a collection of over 1,000 hymns dedicated to various deities. Indra, the god of thunder, Agni, the god of fire, Surya, the sun god. And yet, at the very end of this vast collection, the final hymn asks a question that undermines everything. It says, perhaps the gods came after creation. Perhaps even they do not know. And Vasistha, centuries later, pushed the question even further. He said even the concept of a creator is a thought within consciousness. What you are looking for is what is looking. Modern physics has arrived at a similar place. Quantum field theory tells us that the vacuum is not empty. It is a seething sea of virtual particles constantly popping in and out of existence. The void is pregnant with potential. Nothingness, it turns out, is unstable. This is what the Rigveda intuited, and what Vasista taught 5,000 years ago. The void before time was not empty. It was the womb of all possibility. The Rigveda uses a particular word for that first principle, tad ekam, that one. Not a person, not a god, not a thing, that one. Something that cannot be named because naming would limit it. Vasista, in his dialogue with Rama, called it chit, pure consciousness, the screen upon which the entire movie of the universe is projected, the dreamer who dreams the cosmos into being every moment anew. 5,000 years later, our telescopes have seen galaxies billions of light years away. Our particle accelerators have smashed atoms to reveal the fabric of reality. And yet the question remains the same. What existed before the beginning? Perhaps the ancient sages already knew the answer. The void was not empty. The void was pregnant with possibility. And the question itself is the most sacred thing we possess. The Nasadiya Sukta ends not with certainty, but with silence. And in that silence, Vasista's voice still echoes across the millennia. Rama, that which was never born can never die. That which has no beginning can have no end. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You are the pure, infinite, silent awareness in which the entire universe appears. And when you know this, the question dissolves. Because you realize there never was a void, there was only you. Because some questions are more valuable than their answers. The willingness to not know is the beginning of wisdom. And the void before time was not nothing. It was everything, waiting to become. Stay curious. Subscribe for more.